Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our discussion today. We are going to talk about a very interesting question. Are long school breaks, like the traditional summer holiday, still necessary in today's world? It's a topic that affects students, parents, and teachers in many ways. With us today, we have two guests with different views. First, we have Tom, a student who believes these long breaks are very important. And we also have Maria, an education consultant, who thinks we might need to change our school calendar. This is an important conversation, and I'm looking forward to hearing their thoughts.
Thank you, Sarah. I believe that long school breaks are absolutely essential for students. Firstly, these breaks are vital for our well-being. School can be very demanding, with exams, homework, and daily pressure. A long break gives us the chance to properly relax, de-stress, and recharge our batteries, which helps prevent burnout. If we don't have enough time to rest, we can become too tired to learn effectively when school starts again. Secondly, long breaks offer fantastic opportunities for different kinds of learning and personal development. Many students use this time to travel with their families, explore new places, and learn about different cultures. Others might take up a new hobby, like learning a musical instrument or a sport, or even get a summer job to gain work experience. These experiences are valuable and teach us skills that we don't always learn in the classroom. We also get to spend more quality time with our families. Finally, these long breaks are a tradition. Many families plan their holidays, visits to relatives, and other important events around them. Changing this would disrupt many people's lives and long-standing family traditions. So for our health, our overall development, and for family life, I think long school breaks are still very necessary.
Thank you, Sarah, and thank you, Tom, for sharing your perspective. While I understand the points Tom has made, I believe it's time to seriously consider if the current system of long school breaks is still the best for everyone. One of my main concerns is the issue of summer learning loss, often called the summer slide. When students are away from formal learning for an extended period, like 6 to 8 weeks, many of them, especially younger ones, tend to forget a significant amount of what they learned during the school year. Teachers often have to spend the first few weeks of the new school year reviewing old material, which means less time for new learning. This problem can be more serious for students from families with fewer resources, who might not have access to educational activities during the holidays. This can make the achievement gap between students wider. Another important point is the challenge these long breaks pose for working parents. Finding affordable and reliable childcare for many weeks can be very difficult and expensive for families where both parents work. This can cause a lot of stress for parents, and sometimes means children are left in less than ideal situations. Therefore, I think a more balanced school calendar, perhaps with shorter, more frequent breaks distributed throughout the year, could be more beneficial. This could help reduce learning loss, make childcare more manageable for parents, and potentially even reduce overall stress for students by providing more regular rests, rather than one very long one, followed by long, intense school terms.
Thank you both for those opening statements. Maria, you mentioned summer learning loss. Tom talks about the need for rest and the benefits of a long break for student well-being. How do you balance that need for students to rest with the problem of them forgetting things during these extended holidays?
That's a very important question, Sarah. Rest and recuperation are absolutely vital for students, and I am not suggesting that students don't need breaks. However, the current model of a very long summer break might not be the most effective way to achieve both rest and continuous learning. When the break is too long, the learning loss can be substantial, as I mentioned. This isn't just about forgetting a few facts. It can mean losing skills in reading or maths. The effort needed to catch up can be stressful for students and teachers alike. I believe we could achieve a better balance with a modified calendar. For example, instead of one 8-week break, perhaps 2 or 3 shorter breaks of 2 to 3 weeks spread throughout the year. This would still give students significant time off to relax and pursue other interests, But the shorter gaps in formal schooling could help reduce the extent of learning loss. It might also help in making learning feel more continuous and less like a series of sprints and long stops. The goal is to find a rhythm that supports well-being and also ensures that educational progress is more consistent for all students.
Maria, I understand your concern about learning loss, but I think sometimes this summer slide is exaggerated. Many students, myself included, don't just sit around doing nothing for the entire summer. We read books we enjoy, we visit museums or historical places with our families. Some of us have summer jobs where we learn practical skills like communication and responsibility. This is all informal learning, and it's very valuable. It might not be tested in school, but it helps us grow as individuals. I also believe that the mental health benefits of a long, uninterrupted break are huge. School terms can be very intense. Knowing you have a significant period to completely switch off from academic pressures allows for deeper relaxation and stress reduction than shorter, more frequent breaks might offer. When we return to school feeling genuinely refreshed and happy, we are much more motivated and ready to learn. Perhaps the focus should be less on fearing what students might forget, and more on ensuring they come back to school enthusiastic and mentally prepared. A truly long break helps achieve that. Also, teachers also need that long break to rest and prepare for the next year. They work incredibly hard.
Some interesting points on both sides regarding learning and well-being. Let's turn to some of the practical aspects. Tom, Maria mentioned the childcare issues that long breaks can create for working parents. What are your thoughts on how families manage these long periods? And do you think a different school calendar system could indeed be easier for them?
Yes, I acknowledge that childcare during long breaks can be a challenge for some families, especially if both parents work full-time. However, families have been managing this for generations. Many parents save their annual leave for the summer holidays to spend time with their children. Grandparents and other relatives often step in to help, which can be a wonderful opportunity for different generations to bond. Also, there are many existing solutions like summer camps, local community programs, and sports clubs that offer activities for children during the holidays. These often provide great experiences for kids, allowing them to make new friends and try new things. My friends and I often look forward to these. While a different system might seem easier on paper for childcare, it could create other problems. Shorter, more frequent breaks might mean parents have to arrange childcare more often, which could also be difficult and disruptive. Families value the long summer break as a dedicated period for holidays and family time that shorter breaks might not fully replace. It's a known quantity that people plan for. I think the current system allows for a significant block of family time that is very precious, and many communities already have structures in place to support children during these breaks.
Tom, while it's true that some families manage well and that summer camps exist, we need to remember that these options are not equally accessible to everyone. Summer camps and specialized programs can be very expensive, and not all families can afford them, especially if they have more than one child. Relying on grandparents isn't always possible either, as families are often more geographically dispersed than they used to be, or grandparents may still be working themselves. This means that children from lower-income families might miss out on enriching activities, which again can widen the inequality gap we discussed earlier. Regarding alternative calendar models, many schools that have adopted them report positive feedback from parents. For example, a year-round calendar, often called a balanced calendar, might have something like 45 school days, followed by a 15-day break, a 45 to 15 plan. This means about 3 weeks off every 9 weeks. These shorter, more regular breaks can be easier for parents to manage in terms of childcare, as it's less of a huge block of time to cover. Some communities find that local organizations can offer shorter, more affordable programs during these intersessions. It can also spread out tourism and holiday demand, which might even make family trips more affordable outside of a single peak season. The key is that these models aim to provide more continuous support and reduce the long periods where families are left to find solutions entirely on their own.
Thank you. To sum up my thoughts, I firmly believe that long school breaks, particularly the traditional summer holiday, remain incredibly important. They are crucial for student well-being, giving us the necessary time to rest, recover from academic stress, and prevent burnout, so we can return to school feeling motivated. These breaks also offer unique opportunities for diverse learning experiences outside the classroom, whether it's through travel, hobbies, part-time jobs, or simply spending quality time with family and friends. These experiences help us develop as well-rounded individuals. Yes, there can be challenges like childcare for some families or concerns about learning retention, but I think the significant benefits for mental health, personal growth, and family life outweigh these. Generations of students have benefited from this system, and it allows for a type of freedom and exploration that is hard to replicate in shorter, more fragmented breaks. Therefore, I believe these long breaks give us essential time to grow, not just as students, but as people. We shouldn't be too quick to discard a system that offers so much. It's a cherished part of growing up for many, and provides memories and experiences that last a lifetime.
In conclusion, while I respect the traditions and the benefits Tom has highlighted, I believe it is time for a serious reevaluation of our school calendar to meet the needs of the 21st century. Reforming the school calendar, perhaps by introducing shorter, more frequent breaks, can directly address significant issues like summer learning loss, helping to close achievement gaps, and ensuring more consistent educational progress for all students. Such changes can also offer much-needed support to working families by making childcare arrangements less daunting and potentially more affordable throughout the year. A more balanced calendar doesn't mean eliminating breaks. It means distributing them more evenly, which could lead to more sustained well-being for both students and teachers, reducing the cycle of intense stress followed by long periods of disengagement. It's about creating a rhythm of learning and rest that is more aligned with how children learn best and with the realities of modern family life. Therefore, I urge educators, policymakers, and parents to be open to exploring and piloting new models for the school year. It's time to consider approaches that could be more equitable and effective for everyone. In the long run, the goal should be a system that supports every child's learning journey, continuously and holistically.
Thank you very much, Tom, and thank you, Maria, for sharing your insightful perspectives on this complex topic. We've heard strong arguments from both sides today. Tom has emphasized the importance of long breaks for student well-being, for opportunities for informal learning and personal growth, and for valuable family time. Maria, on the other hand, has raised concerns about summer learning loss, the practical challenges faced by working parents, and has suggested that a more balanced calendar with shorter, more frequent breaks might be more beneficial in today's society. It's clear that there are many valid points to consider, and what works best may differ for various communities and individuals. This is certainly a conversation that will continue among educators, families, and students. Thank you to our audience for joining us today for this important discussion.